You can't leave me here. I want to see my lawyer.
The trouble is, John Moretti is handling this case.
The guy you helped keep out of office.
Moretti and I go back a long way.
My son is not staying in jail on some phony charge.
That's not up to you. You can buy a candidate, Mr. Colby, but this is a question of justice.
You think I have something to do with Miles' arrest?
If I find your hand in this, as God is my witness, I'll cut it off.
Divorce. I need some time to decide what I'm going to do. Maybe I could stay here for a few months, find an apartment.
Why, when you have a perfectly good home here? No, you will stay with us.
Sable would never allow it.
You leave Sable to me.
So you're not satisfied with destroying my son's marriage. You are determined to destroy mine.
I merely extended my hospitality to a member of this family.
She must never set foot in this house.
Well, if you feel that way about it, there is something you can do. Move out.
I see two men in your life. One dark, one fair. I see both men in your future. I see big trouble for the fair man. I see blood.
I blacked out after I left the bar. I was drunk. I don't remember.
You must promise me you will never say that again, not to anyone.
I could have killed him.
How does the defendant plead?
Not guilty.
Bail will be set at $100,000 until the preliminary hearing.
You may have won the round, Mr. Colby, but you can't buy your son out of this one.
And you can't buy the DA's job at my son's expense either.
I don't have to. Your son is as guilty as hell. I've got the murder weapon. And your son's name is written all over it.
Mr. and Mrs. Colby, what a surprise when we got your message. We didn't expect you for another week.
Well, we read the news about Miles and decided to take the first plane back.
Yes, sir, of course. Very distressing. No one wanted to ruin your honeymoon. Shall I tell your father you're here?
Oh, Jeff, let's not. There's no point in waking him at this hour.
I think we'll just go up to our room. Those can wait till tomorrow.
Yes, sir. The Sunset Suite is ready for you. Mrs. Colby had it redone personally.
I wish I knew some way to help Miles.
Sounds like Miles is still awake.
I'd like him to know we're with him. What do you think?
Why not?
Look who it is. The newlyweds.
We came back as soon as we heard.
Can we come in?
Sure.
Are you all right?
Fine. Certainly no need to panic.
Well, from what we've been reading in the newspapers, the DA's office seems to think they've got quite a case.
There's no case. Moretti's grandstanding. Can't you read between the lines?
Well, that's a relief.
Oh, we just want you to know if there's anything we can do to help.
Thanks. The garage got everything under control. Sorry I spoiled your honeymoon. You should have called first. I'd have told you to stay and work on your tans. Oh. Good night.
Is that it?
Oh, did I forget to say welcome home?
Maybe you'll feel like talking later.
Well, I suppose you can't blame him, but it makes you wonder why we even tried.
I know why. He's your brother.
Jason, how long have you been standing there?
About 28 years.
It seemed like only yesterday. You were as handsome as ever.
Maybe Frankie's right.
I know she is. That's what I've realized these last few days, that I love you, that nothing else matters, and that I'll do anything to prove that to you. Anything.
Come in.
Frankie. You're not leaving us.
Yes, I am.
Joining Roger in Singapore after all.
No, he's meeting me in Acapulco for 48 hours. We're getting a divorce.
Is this your decision?
I care about Roger, but I have to let him go. There's no point in dragging this out, so we're making it a clean, fast break.
Does this mean there's some hope for us?
I don't know. I need some time alone in Mexico.
Wait. I'm sorry for Roger, but Frankie, think. Frankie, don't you see, for the first time in our lives, we'll both be free. We can get married.
You still have a wife?
Still, not for long. You go on, get your divorce, and I'll tell Sable.
No. Connie's the only one I told. I don't want anyone else to know why I'm going to Mexico.
Why not?
If Sable finds out I'm getting a divorce, she'll feel even more threatened, and she'll never give you your freedom.
Well, maybe you're right not to tell her now, but what do you feel? No, look at me. I want to marry you, lady. Isn't that what you want?
Yes, eventually.
No, not eventually. Soon. You hurry back home.
No, I'm not coming back until we're both free.
Sable, you've been crying.
I've been looking at old baby pictures. Miles was so sweet, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember that red wagon. He wouldn't let me help pull it. He was barely able to walk, and he wanted to do it his way. He still does.
Oh, God, I'm so frightened what's going to happen to him.
Now, you listen to me. We've got the best possible people working with Garrett on this, legal and investigative. Moretti's the one who should be worried. He hasn't got a case, no matter what he says in the papers.
What if the jury...
Sable, Miles isn't capable of murder. We won't even let it get to court.
You are the only man in the world that could make me sure of that. Thank you, darling.
Well, no more tears then, huh?
No. You won't be late for the opening tonight.
Well, I hadn't...
The new wing of the Colby collection.
I hadn't thought of going.
Oh, it'll be wonderful. Everyone will be there, and you're practically the guest of honor.
I am.
Of course. You're the inspiration. You're the whole reason the collection exists.
Well, I guess I better show up then.
You don't know how happy that makes me feel. Knowing that you'll be there beside me with our family.
Sable, I hope you don't think...
We must pull together now, for Miles' sake. Nothing's more important than our children. I know you feel that too. I've always counted on it.
I know, Miles. That was all bluff. He's worried.
He needs help.
He'll never ask you for it.
Well, I'll find a way to help him whether he likes it or not. Yeah. Who is it? Yeah, I'll speak to him. Jeff Colby.
The hotel in Jamaica told me you cut short your honeymoon, Mr. Colby. Now that you're back, I'd like you to stop by my office this morning.
What's this all about?
Just a few questions about your brother and the Mahoney murder.
Well, I could be there within an hour. Right.
Anything wrong?
No, just the usual crisis downtown. Well, I'm afraid I can't help you. I was out of the country at the time, in Rome.
With a little side trip to Athens.
Yes, I had some business in Greece. What about it?
The day Captain Lovatis was murdered?
What are you getting at?
I'm just struck by the coincidence of it, that's all. The only two men that could shed light on the Colby oil spill, both murdered. One in Athens, where you're on the scene. One in San Miguel, where your brother was.
I went to Athens to get the truth out of Lovatis about that spill.
But to make sure no one else got to him first. At least that's how some people might read it.
Look, I don't give a damn how some people might read it. What are you trying to pull here?
Let's leave the Lovatis murder to the Greek police. Right now, I'm more interested in who killed Mahoney. I think I can prove it was Miles Colby.
My brother is no murderer.
Spare me the brotherly love routine. I know he knocked you off a cliff fighting over his ex-wife, the girl you just married. That Malibu crowd lives on gossip.
Did your gossips tell you that he pulled me back up, too?
Maybe blood's still thicker than water. Especially Colby blood.
If you have any more questions, Mr. Moretti, I suggest you call my lawyer.
Tell him to wait by the phone.
Thanks for lunch, darling. Glad to know you haven't lost your appetite.
Yeah, guess I did pack it away, didn't I?
No problems with Jeff and Fallon being back on the scene?
I've got more important things to think about, like a murder rap. Funny how that keeps the old adrenaline pumping.
It'll all be behind us soon. I think I might have some good news for you. I think your father and I might be getting back together again.
Are you serious?
Well, I have a few more fences to mend, but then I can think of nothing to stand in the way of a reconciliation.
What about Francesca? You're gonna forgive him for that, huh?
Your father is an extraordinary man, but, well, he's only human. He has a lot in common with men his age. Whatever this thing was with Francesca, I am convinced that it was only a phase.
A phase? Sure.
Try and understand him as I do. A lot of men, like your father, they only stray because they're searching for their lost youth. They'll take up with a younger woman, or they'll pick up an old flame, in a desperate effort to regain the past, to be young again.
Guess that makes your sister the fountain of youth.
I made things worse, of course. That business with Connie. I went too far. I knew that. Still, that's all forgotten. Now I am determined to stand by him through this crisis. And when it's over, I'll be there for him.
Mom, you better start facing reality. Francesca just moved into the house.
Not for long. Then she'll be joining Roger in Singapore. After her little vacation in Acapulco.
Acapulco?
I think that's where she's going. Enid heard her confirming her flight for this afternoon.
Kind of sudden, isn't it?
Well, I suspect she was feeling rather uncomfortable in the house. I think the rest will do her good. And with her out of the way, Your father and I can carry on with our lives.
It sounds to me like Moretti's on some sort of a fishing expedition.
Well, he's not going to catch anything. I told him I was out of town the night Mahoney was killed.
So he just called you down there for a friendly chat?
Garrett, what exactly does Moretti have on Miles?
A couple of witnesses, some Mickey Mouse motive.
Yeah, and the murder weapon, so he says, with Miles' name all over it. That is a quote.
Well, then he's got to be bluffing.
Well, let's be sure. Can't we demand full disclosure of everything they have?
Yes, that's one of our options, but
let's do it.
Why not, Garrett?
We can move for discovery before the preliminary hearing. We can ask for the lab reports on the murder weapon, and Moretti will have to hand them over to us.
Good.
Now, Jason, think. He's cocky now. He's overconfident. If we ask for disclosure now, he'll work all the harder to shore up what he's already got. But if we wait for the preliminary...
Now, let's not play games with this. There's too much at stake. I want to know everything they've got before we walk into that hearing. File the motion.
Jason.
File it.
Hi. I just got out of the shower. How long you been waiting?
About a week. When you coming back to the houseboat?
As soon as Miles is all right.
Did you tell them that we're getting married?
Now's not the time for me to break that kind of news to my family. They've got enough to cope with already.
It's not exactly a straight answer. Did you or didn't you? You never intended to go through with this, did you?
That's not true.
You were just using me to get back at your father.
You're a fine one to talk about using people.
What's wrong, Miss Colby? You get tired of playing the rebel role? Gotta get back to your tiara and glass slippers?
Stop it. Can't you understand?
I understand everything now. When I first met you, I thought you were just a spoiled little rich girl. But you're worse than that. You're just like your father, a Colby through and through. You're the real user here, Bliss. Not me.
I just wanted you to know that I'll be thinking about you in the morning. Please call as soon as you can. Sleep well.
How's Wayne doing?
The bandages come off his eyes in the morning, but he won't know whether or not the grafts have taken for a week or so. Wouldn't it be wonderful if he can see again?
Sensational.
You know, I have very few principles left after you.
Mm-hmm. That's what you need. Fewer principles.
I swore when I rehired you it would be business only.
Now maybe I'll charge you. That'll make it business.
I don't want to get involved with a married man.
Oh, that turns me on.
What, did I have principles?
No. That I can pretend to be a married man who's making love to you.
You are a married man. You still have that piece of paper with your name on it. And Gail's.
You think like a lawyer.
I am a lawyer. Why didn't you get a divorce?
Oh, you're not in a hurry. Why bother? But now things have changed.
Have they?
Monica, I promise you, as soon as Gail gets back from her tour, I'll talk to her.
as she gets back.
Walking out on me? I suppose you're walking out on your mother, too, huh?
I'll take care of her from now on. So don't worry. And I'll pay you back for everything. It takes me 50 years.
Sean, you are family. Family. You're like a son to me.
Save the Papa Powers Act for your stepson.
Spear is not my blood. You are.
Yeah, and I'm trying to live it down. I want to get as far away from you as I can.
Go. We'll talk when you're more yourself.
I won't be around. I took that offer from Ocean World. I'm moving to Florida as soon as I can.
What about the Colby girl? You said you loved her. You'll abandon her, too?
I wouldn't get into that if I were you. Besides, what do you care? When have you ever cared about anybody's feelings?
When you've lived my years and fought my battles, then you judge me, not before. Now get out. Get out!
Losing your touch, Zach?
Eavesdropping, Spiro.
You used to be so good at manipulating people. Especially loved ones. He's not as easy to handle as my mother was, huh? You better watch his step.
You better watch yours.
You've lost him, Zach. The old magic's gone. Even the Colbys seem to be slipping through your fingers.
Not all the Colbys, Spiro. Not all.
Please make sure they're here by 5. No, let's say 4:30. Thank you. You're early. The opening is not until tomorrow night.
Oh, I just happened to be passing and saw your light.
That's a likely story.
The truth will only embarrass you. Can I interest you in some supper?
Oh, thank you, but I still have too much to do here.
Oh, my second disappointment.
What was the first?
Well, I just came through the new wing.
You didn't like it?
Oh, it's splendid. But I missed something.
Ah, yes. Your Matisse.
Correction. Your Matisse.
I've had it taken down. It's being returned to you.
But you wanted that painting almost as much as I want you.
It's no good, Zach. I'm going back to Jason.
You never left him.
Even so.
He doesn't deserve you, Isabella. He can't look inside your soul the way I can. He can't see the fire burning there, but I can. I can.
It's no good, Zach. I know what I want, and it isn't this. It's over between us.
Not till I say so.
Or you can spot an easy target a mile off, can't you? Does it really do so much for your ego, turning on a woman this hungry for love?
No more hungry than I. Oh, stop fighting, Isabella. I adore you. And I want to have you.
Please, go away. Leave me alone.
All right. All right. You won't have me. At least have the painting.
Not even the painting.
The painting I bought for you will remain in the new wing where all the world will see it, where you will see it every day of your life and be reminded of how much you are loved. You owe me that much.
And how do I explain it to Jason? He knows that I was outbid. How will I explain it?
Oh, you'll think of something.
All right. The Matisse stays, but only because I owe you. That's what I shall be reminded of every time I look at it. That my debt is paid.
I'll remember that tomorrow night when I see it back where it belongs.
Look, things have changed since I invited you to the opening. Please stay away tomorrow night. Our account is cleared. Please, leave me alone.
You owe me this. And more. Much more. One day I'll collect everything and you will pay. Gladly.
Yes, I know. Yeah, well, I'll turn it over to R&D and see what they think of it. Fair enough? Yeah.
I'm sorry to disturb you while you're working.
Sharon, hold my calls, please.
I've been down at the newspaper office all morning, going through what they quaintly call the morgue, and I found a very exciting discovery. Have a look.
I thought you'd be up to your neck getting set for your opening tonight.
No, that's all under control. These are copies of articles printed several years ago. I think they can help us with Miles.
Oh, yes, when I was fighting the city on that offshore drilling.
Mm-hmm. You won. The loser was the then deputy city attorney, John Moretti. He was younger then, but just as vicious. Look at him shaking his fist at you on your first day's drilling.
Yeah, I'd almost forgotten that.
Well, obviously that little weasel hadn't, which is why he's trying to pin a murder on our son.
And you may be right, but he's not breaking any laws. Not yet.
But it's ammunition. Isn't this enough to get him thrown off the case? He's biased. Look what I've underlined. Witnesses quote Moretti as vowing to get Jason Colby. Moretti accuses Colby of buying city council votes.
He's not a judge, Sable. He's a prosecutor.
But isn't this enough to get him disqualified?
Afraid not. Not yet. Might come in handy, though, if he pushes this indictment too far.
We've got to get this little rat stopped in his tracks before he ruins our son's life.
You remind me of a tigress defending her cub.
But I don't know anything about the law. And I can't fight this by myself.
You won't be by yourself.
Yeah. Thought you could use an update on your friend Moretti. I had a meeting with him.
I don't recall asking for your help.
Oh, wait, it was his idea. It gave me a chance to look at his tactics, though, for what it's worth. Look, I'm going to tell you anyway.
What is this, some fatherly advice?
No, brotherly.
Of course. Moretti's grasping at straws. I didn't do it, okay?
I know that. But he's got something. He's too sure of himself. And we've got to be ready to shoot him down at your preliminary hearing.
I believe Garrett knows what he's doing.
Well, look, Miles, you can use me as a sounding board. We can go over everything that happened that night between you and Mahoney.
Forget it, will you?
Come on, Miles. Maybe we'll come up with something. A witness you haven't thought of yet. Anything.
What is all this? An opportunity to make yourself feel better for screwing up my life?
Damn it, Miles, I'm your brother. Doesn't that mean anything to you? When are you gonna get that chip off your shoulder?
Hi, Bliss. What's going on?
I'm thinking of redoing my room. Where should I hang it?
Anywhere, darling. Preferably facing the wall.
Mother.
I'm sorry, I really do want to help you. I'm quite good at this sort of thing.
I know. And when we finish the room, can you tell me how to change my whole life?
Oh, it's that bad, is it? Come on, tell me all about it.
It's Sean. Maybe he was using me at first. But in the end, I was using him. I was only going to marry him to hurt Daddy.
Is that true? That doesn't sound like you.
Well, that's what he said.
Well, just because he doesn't know you.
Well, I guess I never knew him. How could I love someone so much and know him so little?
Oh. Look, that happens all the time. It's lucky you found out so soon.
Maybe I'll leave the walls bare. Sleep on a mattress on the floor like a monk or a monkess.
You will soon meet somebody else who's wonderful. And then we'll have the most wonderful wedding that this house has ever seen. You'll walk down the aisle on your father's arm.
One big happy family.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say that after everything you and Daddy are going through? You're getting a divorce and talking to me about marriage.
Oh, darling. Well, life is full of ups and downs, and I think your father and I are on the way up again. Look, we are a family. I'm not so happy at the moment, but we're all pulling together now to help Miles. And nothing is going to break us apart. Nothing and nobody.
Divorce papers? I just took my ex-husband to the airport. How did you know?
I was sitting in that same stool yesterday. Took me 2 double scotches before I could open those papers.
And today?
Today, tequila sunrise. I'm Brenda from New York, in case you couldn't guess.
I'm Frankie from a lot of places.
You'll feel terrific tomorrow. A quickie divorce means a quickie recovery.
I'm afraid it won't be so easy for the man I just divorced. He's bitter.
At least you're out from under him.
Other way around. He's out from under me.
Don't worry about him. He won't give you a second thought. Men. They step all over us, and we stand there and take it like a punching bag. We let them use us. Then it's, nice while it lasted, babe. See you around. You know the routine.
You think we're always the victims? What about women who use men?
It's a man's world, honey.
Some women are heartless. I know a woman who married a man, so she had a husband to hide behind because she was in love with another man. Married man, of course.
Did her husband know about it going in?
More or less. But he was a good man and she used him. Maybe she even ruined his life before she divorced him.
Don't believe that, honey. She did him a favor. She gave him back his freedom.
You certainly don't wallow in guilt.
People who feel guilty never get what they want. You still in love with that married guy?
I guess I'm not fooling anybody, am I? Yes, I'm in love with him. I think I always have been.
Does he love you?
He wants to marry me.
So what's the problem?
Oh, his wife.
Must be some terrific marriage. Help the guy in the agony. Life's too short. I mean, how many cracks do you get at the real thing? This could be your last chance. Go for it.
Anderson, please keep trying my call to Mexico. Let me know when it comes in. Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure you were coming to the opening tonight.
Well, you're being very friendly. What did I do to deserve this?
Oh, please help me, Connie. I admit that I was wrong to fight you on Jeff's money. Now, I want to make up for it. I want to mend my ways.
You mean mend your ways back to Jason's bed?
I just want to bring us all together again.
Oh, you can bring us all together quickly. Divorce Jason.
I'm sure that nothing could make you happier.
Nothing would make him happier.
Don't be too sure. Whatever I've done, I've always been a loving wife.
Always?
Always. I pride myself on that.
Well, Sable, you know what they say about pride.
No. I won't let you provoke me anymore. The invitation stands for tonight. Come. Or don't. As you like.
Excuse me, Mrs. Patterson. Mr. Palmer just buzzed. Your call to Mexico has gone through.